What's up, you guys? It has been so long since I've made a video and my tripod broke, so it was kind of like out of my control, but I finally got a new tripod. I have you guys situated. I hope it's not like crooked or something. So yeah, let's get into this video. Let me tell you what this video is gonna be. I have a lot of makeup, as you guys probably are aware. And lately I've been really into highlighter. Not that like, that's a brand new concept. But I was going through my highlighter collection and I feel like I have the most like highlighters out of any kind of like makeup product that I have. Maybe lip products, but yeah, I counted, I have like 15 highlighters, like individually, 2 highlighter palettes, possibly 3 if you count one of them as a palette rather than a highlighter, and then 2 eyeshadows in the chocolate bar palettes that I use as highlighter almost exclusively. So I thought I could go through and show you swatches of highlighters if you love to like glow and be shimmery like myself. And maybe there'll be some that you've never tried before and you want to see them. So without further ado, let me get into it. First off, I'm going to show you the chocolate bar palettes just in case you have them, because I feel like these are more common for more people to have. If you have these palettes, I just want to let you know that there are some gorgeous highlighters within them. The first one is the regular Too Faced chocolate bar palette. I do not have the semi-sweet palette, so there may or may not be highlighters in there too. But I wanted to point out this champagne truffle shade. It looks like this. It's a really pretty kind of white pinky highlighter. Really, really pretty on the cheekbones and also, like on the lid or inner corner of your eyes. But yeah, this one actually, I think the Nikkie Tutorials palette or like collection has a version of this, which then made me be like, oh, let me see if I like it. And it is gorgeous on the face. Another similar one is from the Too Faced Bonbon palette, and it's the Satin Sheets shade. And this is also kind of like your pinky, like white. It's got a little bit more of a peachy tone in it. That one is like one of my favorites. I think it is gorgeous. Then moving on to the other palettes, I obviously have the NYX Stroke of Genius highlighter palette. There is multiple shades in here. There's 7 to be exact. The only shade I find like not useful at all is this yellow shade here. There's like not really any pigment that comes out of it. It's just not that good. But the other ones are really, really nice. You get 3 on the top that are obviously probably your more used shades. And then you have, the ones on the bottom in the smaller pans. They're a little bit more unique, including this lavender highlighter, which I get a lot of questions about. Looks like that. On the cheeks, it does kind of just look like your classic, like white shade. But it is something unique that is, not everybody includes in their palettes. You may not have in your collection. The quality on this is really, really nice. The shades are buttery, and they perform well on the cheeks. So really, really like that as well. And then the last kind of palette that I have is the Becca Jaclyn Hill like combination palette. This one has Pearl, Champagne Pop, and Blushed Copper. Looks like this. I have been really loving Champagne Pop, but I also like to mix Pearl and Champagne Pop together to make kind of like a more peachy shade. I'm just going to swatch Champagne Pop because that seems to be the more popular one. This is just kind of like a peachy highlight. It's really, really pretty. And mixing them together kind of lightens it and makes things look really nice. Blushed Copper, I used more of like a blush topper rather than like, right up here on the highlight region just because it is kind of dark. But I do like to layer it over some blushes occasionally. And even as an eyeshadow, it looks gorgeous. So, yeah. This one I wasn't really sure if I should include as a palette or a highlight, so I'm going to include it next. This is the Physicians Formula Warm Nude Shimmer Brick. As you can see, mine is like kind of demolished, but you can use these as highlighter. You can use them as eyeshadow. I want to say you can even use them as a contour, like for, well, it says you can. I wouldn't use them as contour, but you can, according to this. I've really been concentrating my brush into like these 4 shades here, so I'll just kind of swatch that. That's what that kind of looks like. And that's that there. But you can ultimately swirl it wherever. If you're like a deeper skin tone, you can use the darker shades as kind of like a shimmery highlight. You can use the pinkier ones as like blushes or like, you know, blush toppers. I just think there's a lot of versatility in this, and it's a drugstore product, so it's relatively inexpensive. Oh my God. I'm just like looking at my hand and I'm just like, oh, it's gorgeous. So now that brings us to our individual shades. I'm going to talk about what I am wearing on my cheeks today. This is the Wet n Wild Fergie backstage collection thing. And this is in the shade Hollywood Boulevard. I love this. I recently just kind of dug this out of my collection because I heard some YouTuber talking about it. The shades are like, you know, it's got that marbling of the gold, the pink, and like even some brown in there. And if you really just kind of swirl your fingers together, it looks like that. Let me just swatch that out for you. It's a little bit deeper, depending on the amount of like the brown that you get in there. I tend to concentrate on like a lot of the gold, so it gets a little bit golder. But that's kind of, you know, all the shades mixed together. It's more subtle, I feel like, than these. Because as you can see, if you just kind of look at my arm, you don't really see this that much unless you really focus into it. But built up, I think it just looks so natural and gorgeous. Like, and I layered this a lot, and it still is kind of like, you know, it's there, but it's not like Jeffree Star metallicness on your face. So I think that's really good. And it's Wet n Wild, so it's like super cheap too. Speaking of Jeffree Star, let's go into the Jeffree Star Skin Frost. This is the only one I have. I got it in California. It was like my baby the whole trip because I was scared of it breaking. This is in the shade King Tut. Regardless of what you think of Jeffree Star, I think that this is really gorgeous. I, you know, would buy another Skin Frost from him. It is, you know, kind of glittery and chunky. But I mean, like, come on. I mean, can we just, I mean, think of that on the eyes, think of it on the face. Oh, you could probably even tap it into your lipstick if you wanted to kind of add some shimmer. Oh, it's just gorgeous. It's just, oh gosh. Anything shimmery, I'm just like, can we just look at it? Like, I just think that's gorgeous. I love the metallicness of it. I do have to be pretty light-handed. Let me get a Kleenex or something. Do have to be pretty light-handed when you use these because, you know, they are really glittery and pigmented. But, I mean, I don't think I'll ever use up this whole pan. Like, look at it in relation to my hand. Like, I don't think I would ever use this whole thing up. So that's a plus for what you pay for. Then, sticking with the kind of rosy shades, this is my MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Fairly Precious. This was from some limited edition collection they had like years ago, and I wasn't even involved in the collection. Like, I didn't really know about it. I just went to MAC one day, and they had like one left, and I thought it was pretty, and I got it. But this one is kind of similar to my, where is it? My Becca Rose Gold. You can see the shades are super similar. I'll talk about these at the same time, I guess. The Becca is a little bit more creamy. This MAC one is a little bit more natural on the skin. Here is the MAC one. As you can see, it's like peachy, kind of a little more natural. Here's going to be the Becca one. You know, they're almost like dupes for each other. So if you wanted the Fairly Precious one, go for the Becca because they are super similar. But this one is the Becca, and this one is the MAC. I mean, my swatches are all over the place. They are like really, really good quality, both of them. I don't know why I have both. I think I got the MAC one first, and then I was just like, oh my god, rose gold is the name, I need it. So, but you could do with one or the other. I don't really think they're necessary to have both. My other Becca shade that I have is Opal. And this one I've recently kind of been using more of, because when I bought it, I just bought it for the prettiness and used it a couple times and then just like never used it again. So I'm going to start swatching on this hand. This is what it looks like. Super, super pretty. Again, you can use it on the eyes. You can use it on the face. I mean, and I think these Becca ones you can use wet too, so that would even like up the pigmentation of it. So, so pretty. Then, as far as, I don't know, where am I going to go next? Let's talk about this one. This is the Hard Candy Trio, the Contouring Face Trio in 3 Times a Lady. I rave about the highlighter in here like there's no freaking tomorrow. If you have a Walmart near you, get your booty over there and get one of these Contouring Face Trios. Again, this is the 3 Times a Lady, which means the blush is a little bit more peachy. But I'm going to do it right here, right now. One swipe. Do we see that? Are you seeing it? And if you build it up, oh my god. Are you kidding me? Walmart, come through. I swatched it on the wrong hand, but I mean, come on, Walmart. Ugh. God, I could just look at that like all freaking day. It's just so, so pretty the way it catches the light. Again, you need a little light hand with this because it is kind of like more glittery, but it looks so, so gorgeous. Then I have the Girlactic Face Glow in the shade Luster. I also got this in California. It's like the only Girlactic product I've ever used. It looks like this. Doesn't really look like anything super extravagant in the pan. I don't really know, like, if I would have been drawn to this if I had not swatched, like, I swatched one shade of the Face Glows, and I was just like, nah, I don't know how I feel about that. So I, like, went through and swatched the other ones, and I found this color, which is like a rosy kind of highlight. And then like I said, I swatched it and I was just like, this is kind of different from a lot of the things I have, you know, like in comparison, I feel like this has more a pinky undertone, whereas these have more like gold undertones. So yeah, I think that's really pretty. It reminded me of my other highlighter from Bobbi Brown, which is the Pink Glow, what is this called? Pink Glow highlighting powder, I guess. I almost thought it was like one of the shimmer strip things. But this has like a marbleized kind of thing as well with the white and the pink. Again, really, really pretty. It's a lot lighter than the Girlactic one. Like you really have to like, you know, scrape. But in that turn, I think it looks more natural on the face. But there's some days where you just don't really want to go natural. You want to go crazy. And that's, you know, the Bobbi Brown one. You can see they are similar, the Girlactic and the Bobbi Brown. I just love highlighters. I don't even care if they're if they're similar. I just want to be all about them. And then keeping with the pinky train, this is the Urban Decay Afterglow highlighter in the shade Aura. This is a little bit more of an iridescent light pink. Really, really pretty though. It reminds me of a combination of the pinky highlighters and then the lavender one from the NYX palette. That's what that looks like. It's got like a pink shift that I don't know if it's catching on camera, but it's so pretty. This is what I wear when I do more like cool toned purpley looks. This is like the highlight that I go for because of that iridescent shift, just because it is so, so pretty. It's not as like glowy and metallic as a lot of the other ones, but it just has that iridescence to it that I think is very unique in my collection. They do have 2 other shades of this, one in Sin, which I know my neighbor Brooke like raves about. And then they do have one in Fireball, which is a more like red rosy shade. Sin is like champagne or like opal or something, you know, like similar to, you know, opal from Becca. Then I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter in Riviera. This is what they had before they had the glow kits. I don't know if they sell these highlighters anymore. I really liked these. I hope they do still sell them because they're gorgeous. This is the shade Riviera. It's one of the 2 that I wanted at the time. There was one called So Hollywood, which was like a dupe for some MAC highlighter that was like limited edition at the time that I couldn't get. But I saw this one. This one has like kind of that more like taupey brown kind of thing, which again is kind of different compared to some of the things that I have in my collection. I don't know. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's unique. It's kind of dark, but on the face, when you use a brush with it, like it's really, really pretty. You know, again, something a little bit more unique. I feel like the more highlighters I get, the more I like expect from them. Like the more I'm like, how does this measure up to this other one that I have? So I think that's good that it's different. I do have this Model Co. highlighting trio. These are cream highlighters. I also have, here it is, this other cream highlight from Julep. I'm not a fan of cream highlighters. I got this one in an Ipsy bag, and then I bought this because it was on discount, and I just wanted to try it out. The ones that I tend to use as a highlighter, it says you can use all of these. I tend to use this one here called Champagne as a highlight, the peachy one as a blush, and then the brown one maybe as an eyeshadow. So I'm just going to swatch the one that I use as a highlight because we are running time. But again, it's like a white kind of cream color. It's not like my favorite. I do use it sometimes. It is really pretty. I just don't really like cream face products, like cream blushes, cream highlights. But I will use it if I'm in the mood. This Julep one is the cream to powder blush sticks, and it's in the shade Moonlit Sand. Looks like this. And you know, I think it is more of a blush, but you could use it, you know, and blend it out to be more of a highlighter because it does have that, oh my God, it does have that kind of like shimmeriness to it. It's really pretty. I just, again, I'm not a super fan of cream products. Yeah. And then I have the Kat Von D eyeshadow in Thunderstruck. I use this as a highlighter as well. Again, it's got that iridescent kind of color to it. It looks super pigmented and white right there. Where am I gonna put this? I'll put it right here. It is really, really pretty, like when it's blended out and nice. I think there it looks a little bit intense. But yeah, I really, really like that as well. And then I have my last 2 that are not super crazy. Like they're good highlighters, but they're not like over the top like some of these ones are. And that is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder and then this Laura Mercier Baked Matte Radiance Powder. So the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder I have in Luminous Light. It looks like this. You can see that I have put a dent in it. I actually like to use this more to like kick off bake if I'm baking my face. But I do use this sometimes like on my cheekbones as a base for other highlighters. But it's very, very like finely milled powder. Looks like that. You can see it's got that little bit of like a shine to it. Nothing too crazy though. I wanted to like plan out where I would put it. You can see how it just catches the light ever so softly. It's not crazy. It's just more subtle. I don't know. There are days when I'm about the subtle life. There's not many. And this one I actually got as a sample in that Sephora Favorites kit, and I still have it. This is the Laura Mercier Baked Matte Radiance Powder in Highlight 01, and it looks like this. You can see, I mean, it was baked. I have used a lot of it because it was more like domed when I got it. But again, this is just a finely milled powder that you can put, you know, at the high points of your face to then illuminate them, but it's not super shimmery like the other powders. It's just kind of brightening rather than like highlighty, I guess. But yeah, these are all the highlighters that I own in my collection. I hope you found this video useful, maybe entertaining. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know down below what your favorite highlighter is in your collection, because as you can see, I love highlighters. I'm totally open to finding new and amazing ones. My current, like, you know, want is that new Wet n Wild one that looks like the gold bar from Charlotte Tilbury. I have to get my hands on that one. But until next time, I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.